Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jai Hind. And I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Rishabh. Good evening, Shivshankar. So I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good evening, Arshad. Just confirm me once if I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Okay. So welcome to today's current affairs session. And the topics which we are going to discuss today, the first topic which we are going to see today is going to be about the transparency in judiciary. Now, there is a very important judgment, very important observation by the bench of Supreme Court with respect to the functioning of High Court. So, we are going to look into this one matter, transparency in judiciary, how this one can be enhanced. Second thing is, we are going to talk about this one topic, tuberculosis in India also. Like India has been undergoing this challenge of tuberculosis and it has been for quite a long time. So we are going to discuss about this, that what is the issue of tuberculosis, how it is caused, what is the remedy, what are the different schemes of government regarding this, all these things. Then we are going to talk about the road safety. If you have been looking at the news articles in the last 1 month, you may have seen that there have been several such accidents, road accidents, which has claimed like many such dozens of innocent lives. Okay. Many innocent lives have been lost due to road accidents. And in just last one month, you may have heard about many such tragic accidents. So we will try to see some data with respect to the road safety in India. And then we will try to examine that what factors contribute to road accidents in India. We will try to see them. So, and we will see some mains question also and practice question also. Yes, Prince, you can ask your question. You can ask your question. So let's start with the question. And meanwhile, if you have any doubt, if you have any question, you can put it in the comment box. Okay. So here we have the first statement again. The Aditya L1 has been placed in L1 orbit for solar observation. L1 orbit has uninterrupted view of the sun. There is no fuel requirement for placing a satellite at L1 orbit. Which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statements? Interstate water disputes are a persistent challenge to Indian federalism. Discuss the constitutional provision for their resolution and suggest ways to prompt a more collaborative approach among states. Nay, here the question is asking discuss the constitutional provisions for their resolution and suggest ways to promote a more collaborative approach. So, if you have to write this answer, first what you will give, you can give some current context of interstate water dispute, or yes, you can start with that. Since you have to mention the constitutional provisions later, so you can start with first this one part, that what are the current examples of interstate water dispute. Then you can give a flow chart where you can indicate some of the major disputes. Then you can just talk about the constitutional provisions and the possible suggestions for it. So this is one thing which you have to do in this answer. Okay. So first you can start with like a basic portion. First thing is interstate water dispute. What is interstate water dispute? Then you can give some flow chart. We can make a flow chart where it will be indicated that what are some of the common such interstate water disputes. Then you can discuss in detail about the constitutional provision and suggestion. 10% in remaining seats or in total seats? Total seats, 10% of the total seats. Okay. So here we have this one question. I think some of people have given answer as A option, B option, C option. See, first if we look at this, first statement is correct in this type. L1 orbit has uninterrupted view of the sun. This one part is correct. There is no fuel requirement for placing a satellite at L1 orbit. Okay. So this we see that this one is incorrect because there will be some fuel requirement, although it is minimal, but there will be fuel requirement. So this second option, the third statement, is not correct. It says that there is no fuel requirement for placing a satellite at L1 orbit. It is entirely incorrect. The first one is saying that it has been placed for solar observation. Second one is saying L1 orbit has uninterrupted view of the sun. The second statement is explaining the first one. Okay. So only one of the statement 2 and 3 is correct, and that explains statement 1. Then we have how many of the following are correctly matched. COP26 NDC updation, COP29 establishment of loss and damage fund, COP28 developed nations agreed for $300 billion per year by 2035. So you have to tell which one is correct. This is question number 2. How many of the following are correctly matched? COP26 NDC updation, COP29 establishment of loss and damage fund, COP28 developed nation agreed for $300 billion by 2035. So I think all of you can give the answer quite easily. See, it's quite simple. COP26 NDC updation. I think you all know this part. COP26 was Glasgow summit, and there we have seen the NDC updation. So this first option is correct. COP29, this is correct for developed nations agreed for $300 billion per year by 2035. Okay. Then COP27. COP27. This was the time when there was establishment. And COP28 is operationalization. COP28 is about operationalization. So that is about COP 28, 27, 29 and all. Now coming to the third question. NPT is the most comprehensive treaty for elimination of nuclear weapons. It forbids non-P5 nations to develop nuclear weapons. Question number 3. I think you all can give answer for this one also. NPT is the most comprehensive treaty for elimination of nuclear weapons. A option, C option, A option. Just mention the question number also. When you are giving the answer, try to mention the question number also. What would be the correct answer? See, it forbids non-P5 nations to develop nuclear weapon. This one part is true. It forbids the non-P5 members to have nuclear weapons. This part is true. If we look at the first one, it is the most comprehensive treaty for elimination of nuclear weapon. There is no such part that it wants to have elimination of nuclear weapons. It aims at non-proliferation. There is a difference. It aims at non-proliferation. It aims at non-proliferation. Means other countries should not have, the P5 nations, they can have the nuclear weapons, but the non-P5 members, they should not have nuclear weapons. That is the aim, that is the ultimate aim under this NPT. The first one is incorrect. Answer will be option number D. Statement 1 is not correct, but statement 2 is correct. So I hope this part is clear. The answer will not be A, it will not be C, it will be D option. Okay. So here the answer will be option number D. Now last day, I have given you this one mains question also. South Asia is particularly more vulnerable to climate change than any other part of the world. Elucidate and suggest measures. 150 words. So how many of you have written this? How many of you have written this answer? How many of you have written this answer? You have written, Bharat, good. Anyone else? Are you writing the answers or not? See, there is a very important keyword here, elucidate. Can you tell me what is the meaning of this? Like, what is the approach? What approach you have to follow? What approach you have to follow? Yes, Bharat, I know that. ऐसे ही लिखते रहे. Have written answer but not correct. How do you know it is not correct? How do you know it is not correct? Now, if we look at this one question, there is this one term, elucidate. So it is quite normal. When you have to write the introduction, you can give a general context about, okay, you can add a context with respect to global warming. You can add a context with respect to global warming. Okay. So this is one part. Then you have to mention this all thing that how South Asia is more vulnerable to climate change than any other part of the world. What adds to the vulnerability? We have seen the temperature for world we say that it is 2 degrees Celsius. For South Asia, if you remember last class, we have seen it can go up to 3.5 degrees Celsius. For South Asia, we see that it can go up to 3.5 degrees Celsius. So what is the meaning of elucidate here? The meaning of elucidate is you have to talk about some examples, you have to talk about the facts, data. Whenever elucidate key term is given, you have to talk about facts and data. They will mention that for world it is 2 degrees Celsius, here it can be 3.5. Okay. Then you can mention about the population, that it is home to 2 billion population, many of them are poor. It is home to around 2.2 billion people of the world and many of them are poor, which increases their vulnerability, which enhances their vulnerability. So this is one part. You can mention about the coastal community. You can mention about the coastal community. When we are talking about South Asia, in fact, in India itself, you will find that we have around 40 million coastal community. If you talk examples of Sri Lanka, if you talk about portions of Bangladesh, certain portions of Pakistan and others, we can roughly say that near about 50 million plus population or 60 million plus population in this area are living in coastal areas. Around 60 million population are in coastal areas. So livelihood, habitat, all these things are going to be impacted. So this is one part. In this manner, like last time also we have talked about South Asia, how it is more vulnerable. We can mention about the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea branch also, that recently there has been more frequent cyclones. Cyclones have become quite more powerful. They have become intensive. They have become unpredictable. So all these elements can be added here. All these elements can be added here. And then you have to suggest measures. Measures will be multiple things. Measures will be about fight against climate change. Measures would be with respect to fight against climate change, adaptation and mitigation. It will also be about awareness and empowerment. Awareness and empowerment. So you can write certain points about fight against climate change, that countries need to update their NDC and all in order to fight against climate change. There should be establishment of regional organizations which can focus especially on South Asia. Then you can mention about adaptation and mitigation. Like last time I told you, specific region, specific problem. Sri Lanka has water crisis. India has drought crisis. India also have flood crisis. Bangladesh has flood crisis. So we need local adaptation and mitigation strategies. So you can mention about that also. Then you can mention about awareness and empowerment, awareness of the coastal, awareness of the poor community, and their empowerment also. We need to train them. We need to have training of NDRF, SDRF, or we can even have a regional disaster response force. We can have a new concept, that South Asia Disaster Response Force. So it can cut across the borders, it can cross across the borders, and it can save people from disasters. So this is one thing which you can mention in this answer. So meaning of elucidate is that you have to give some examples, you have to give certain facts. So I hope now when you get the next time elucidate option, today itself I will give you one topic, one question on elucidate. Today itself, I am going to give you one more question on elucidate, and you have to write that. Okay. So let's start our topic for today. Now, the first topic which we are going to talk about is about transparency in judiciary. It is about transparency in judiciary. So let's look at this. It says that all High Court should upload details of time taken by judges to deliver pending decisions. So what we see that Supreme Court, okay, Supreme Court has given this order to all the High Courts. Okay. What is the order? That you have to make public. That you have to make public what time taken to dispose of cases. Dispose of cases. Okay. So Supreme Court has given this one judgment. Okay. Supreme Court has given this one. Just 1 second. I hope I am audible. Just wait for 1 second.
away.